Prince was an American singer, multi-instrumentalist, basketball fan, fashion guru, singer, writer, producer, one of the greatest of all time. But what happened to Prince? No one knows at this point, but I would like to have a timeline of his life before starting the investigation. I think it's very important to speak of this before talking about his untimely death. Prince died 7 days after the Atlanta concert in Atlanta in 2016. It was called The Piano Microphone. He passed away, and no one really knows exactly what happened. He's gone, and now we're here to pick up the pieces. As fans, we continue to look and make sure that everything is okay. Fans around the world mourn his death in Minneapolis and all over the world. Did Prince die of a drug overdose? Was Prince addicted, or was he dependent? Did he have an illness? And what is up with the counterfeit pills? I hope to answer many questions and more, but let's get into his early life. Prince Rogers Nelson was born June 7, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. His parents was Mattie Delashaw and John Lewis Nelson. Prince was the oldest of these two, but John Nelson had other children from a previous marriage. His mother was born in Louisiana. He had a full sibling named Tyka Nelson. Prince started playing music when he was 7 years old, and he came up with a song called The Funk Machine. He learned how to play Batman and other theme songs when he was a child. He was learning how to play piano, guitar, and drums when he was at the age of 12. Prince as a child was very talented. He also liked to play basketball and hang out with his family. Here's a picture of him in junior high school. Prince also had other siblings in the family. His parents divorced when he was 7 years old, and Prince started to live with his father. And then his mother got married to Hayward Baker and had a child named Omar. Prince was homeless for a little while and ended up moving with Bernadette, Andre Simone's mother, for a while before graduating high school. This is the house right here. Then he created a band called Grand Central. Then in 1977, he was signed to Warner Brothers label, where he produced his own music, wrote, and did the whole album on his own. Here's a picture of him with Owen Husney. Prince made 39 albums officially and many singles, and also he produced a lot of music, including The Time and Vanity 6. We'll get to Vanity later. His biggest accomplishment was Purple Rain, which was a movie and a soundtrack. This right here shows a small snippet of First Avenue there in Minnesota. Vanity was replaced by Apollonia Cartero, and Vanity went on to Motown Records with The Last Dragon. In 1992, Prince had a dispute with Warner Brothers Records over his masters and the contract that he had signed. The battle went on for many years, and he went under a symbol publicly disputed Warner Brothers. The slave was written on his face to show that he wasn't a slave to any other people but slave to the industry. Then in 1996 he married Maite Garcia. She was a army brat from Louisiana, I believe. I'm not sure, but they met in 1990. She was a dancer, and then they fell in love and got married. Their marriage lasted up until 2000. They also had a child that was born with birth defect, and that caused a rift in their marriage, and they ended up getting divorced because some of that was happening at the time. Here you can find out about the infant son, and then after that he met with Larry Graham and turned him basically into a Jehovah's Witness, and that kind of split Maite and Prince up because they started having two different religions. Unfortunately, Maite moved to Spain, and Larry Graham and his wife moved to Paisley Park, where he started to learn about the Jehovah's Witness faith. In 2001, Prince married Manuela Testolini, and then his father died in August 2001. Prince and his father was very close at the time. Then, 6 months later, his mother, Maddie Shaw, passed away, and Prince had got out of his contract with Warner Brothers. So Prince got out of his Warner Brothers contract with the help of Londell McMillan, so he ended up going to independent deals. But in 2014, he re-signed back to Warner Brothers with the help of Phaedra Ellis, who somehow found a way for Prince to get his masters back. Phaedra Ellis was an important part of Prince's career.
Let's talk about all this and distribution service. I mean, what do we really need record companies for? I mean, really.
Prince signing back to Warner Brothers was a very big shock for many Prince fans because we seen how much he had fought for the right to be freed from Warner Brothers, and then all of a sudden he goes back. So we're going to go ahead and start into the investigation somewhat and talk about 2016. Prince starts the microphone and piano microphone tour, and Vanity dies in February 15th, actually the same day as his mom, which was very odd. He dedicated a whole concert in her name when he found out that she had passed. Prince attends Denise Vanity Matthews' funeral and meet up with all former members of the band like Jill Jones and Brenda Bennett, Apollonia, and Susan Mosi. Now, Jill Jones, she said some important stuff that was related to maybe Prince was taking opioids. Jill Jones had been in Prince's group for a long time, and she was also a former girlfriend of his.
I did feel that there was an issue physically because he was really frail, and it was just an energy I picked up on, just something. And I'd known about his hips and his different kind of pain. I don't want anybody to think because I said I thought he was on something that he was knocked down, drag out, right. No, not at all. It's just, this is somebody I slept with them. I lived with them for a bit. I don't, and I'm very intuitive. End of story, hands down. And that's it. And it's like that person was close to me like my blood.
How was Prince's appearance right before death? I know in 2014, I think he actually put on a little bit of weight, as you can see in these pictures. And then when around the time when he took the passport photos, I noticed he started to look a bit gaunt. You can look at the St. Bartholomew New Year's concert here and tell and see that he was definitely had lost a lot of weight. Here he was at the Golden State Warriors game, and you can look at his appearance a month before his death. There are some Prince fans that had picked up on the fact that Prince had started wearing to layer his clothes, maybe possibly to hide the fact that he had lost a considerable amount of weight. But since he was such a small guy, any weight that he would have lost, we would have been able to tell. Now look at the before 2016 pic. Look how healthy he is. And look at this pic now. Can you see the difference? In San Francisco, I went to the American Music Hall and I saw Prince. And I noticed how small he was looking. April 7, 2016, Prince cancels the Atlanta concert, supposedly because of the flu. And then April 14th, he gets on a plane and suddenly becomes unconscious. The two pilots, Kirk Johnson, was a best friend and plus a manager bodyguard. His girlfriend, Judith Hill, were all on the plane.
Chicago Center set up house discretion to maintain 3000 Molina altimeter is 3012. Jet speed 990 it is, VFR at Moline, expect a visual approach to the ILS-9 is on the air. Maneuver at your discretion, advise the field inside, otherwise I can vect you around if you'd like for a straight in for 9. 990 clear visual approach to the Quad City Airport.
Kansas City, 1947, Southwest 1506. Have a great night.
Yeah, was it a male or female passenger? To my frequency 118.75.
We're up 18 safe. We're planning now to land runway 27, jet speed 990.
990 CFR will be waiting. They want you to go to the on the west end of the north ramp.
947 Heavy, good night. UPS 3947, checking in 350.
Change advisory frequency is approved, and you can cancel on the ground in this frequency that we'll transmit there on the ground. You'll be able to reach me, and have a good evening.
In one statement, it was said that Kirk Johnson had carried Prince off the plane and put him onto the stretcher. Judith Hill was the one that had found him unresponsive and told Kirk Johnson that something was wrong with Prince. Here is a video that they supposedly or allegedly say were the events after he got taken off of the plane. In the ambulance, you can see the whole debacle right here. But I don't believe that this is the original photo from Moline, Illinois, where they landed when Prince had became unresponsive. But that is just my perspective. After I get done with this whole timeline that I'm doing right now, I will be looking in depth into this whole video that they so-called say was when Prince was taken to the hospital. I can't tell either way. I've looked at it and there's no way that we can tell if that was the original photo or TMZ was lying. They just used any type of video footage. We just have no proof at this point.
Voice in 2013 is coming forward today to reveal she watched as he seemed to slip away after suffering a drug overdose. 32-year-old Judith was on the plane that left Atlanta heading to Prince's home in Minneapolis when Prince fell unconscious right in front of her. In an exclusive interview, she tells the New York Times his eyes fixed. She said she was very freaked out. Judith, who says she was in love with Prince, was sitting directly across from him when he collapsed. She says she and an aide to Prince tried to shake him awake. We knew it was only a matter of time. We had to get down. We didn't have anything on the plane to help him. The pilot made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois.
Moline traffic, 990 final 27, Moline.
This security video from the airport shows an ambulance transporting Prince to a local hospital. He was revived on the tarmac with a shot of Narcan, a drug used to treat opiate overdoses. Judith says Prince was awake by the time they got to the hospital, which was such a relief to me because I thought he was gone. Sadly, he died 6 days later at his Paisley Park mansion. Judith Hill now holds a unique place in pop music history. It turns out she was supposed to sing a duet with Michael Jackson during his doomed This Is It tour, which was canceled due to his death in 2009. She gave a heartbreaking performance during his memorial service. Now she's struggling to come to terms with the death of yet another icon of music.
Now let's take a look at the Moline Airport right here. I got a couple of photos that I found online, and I've been wondering, searching, trying to make sure that everything is okay. You know, TMZ, they can use any photo, they can use any video footage, but we don't know for sure if that was the same surveillance video, and if it is, okay. But where does surveillance video come from? Where did they get it from? Who released it to TMZ? Is the question. Prince was seen by Dr. Monka in Trinity Moline Hospital, which was not too far from the Moline Airport. For the next segment, let's get into Prince's health issues. We do know that Prince had left shift at one point. He also had epilepsy. From numerous sources, it was told that Prince also had a hip problem and an ankle problem. But let's get back to the timeline. April 16th, Kelly Collins says that she saw Prince riding on a bike in Chanhassen, Minnesota. After that, Prince invited his fans over to Paisley Park after dark. On April 16, 2016, he showed his new guitar and he played piano, and he seemed to try to act like everything was fine. A lot of celebrities, they came, and a lot of people was calling him, trying to make sure he was okay. Apollonia said that she actually was trying to fly there and tell him that he needed to take it easy. And he just replied on Twitter that basically he wasn't going to stop. Basically, that's what he was saying at the time. So, what we know is on the 16th that he had to party. So on the 17th, I didn't see any information of what went down on the 17th at all, except that he went to a club with Joshua and Hannah Welting. I went to the Dakota a couple months ago, and I checked out the area, see what the vibe was. Seemed like a really nice club, nice little kick out, chill area. People want to just hang out, listen to a little jazz. So from there, it just seemed like everything's on the up and up. Kim Pratt is the one who picked him up. Kim Pratt was the limousine driver for that night. The manager at the Dakota club basically said that Prince seemed okay, that he watched the show and everything was fine. He couldn't tell like something bad was going to happen to him in a couple days. So let's get into Prince's health again and this cane situation. Now, we don't know for sure because we don't have a lot of records on him because, medical records is going to be private. It was said that Prince possibly broke his hip or his ankle during the Purple Rain tour. According to Tour's book, that's when he started taking opioids. We don't know for sure, but that could be speculation. One of the other places that Prince visited right before his death was the Electric Fetus. It is a record store he used to go to since he was a child. So I went in there and checked that out as well. And we have a picture of Prince, of course, inside of the Electric Fetus. On the 20th, he went to Dr. Schulenberg's with Kirk Johnson. And then Kirk Johnson went and did the prescriptions. He walked out. And then we get the last pictures of Prince. According to TMZ, we don't know if those pictures are real. Did KJ take that picture? We don't know. When Prince and Kirk Johnson got back, the chef was there and Marone Picure was there. She is the personal assistant. And this is the last time that we actually know of Prince alive, which was around 8 p.m. on April 20th, 2016. That's the last time anybody seen him that night. The only ones that was left in the building, like I said, was the chef, Marone Picure, Kirk Johnson, and Prince. And we don't have any data of what happened between those times, but we do know that Kirk Johnson took a picture on accident and sent it to Dr. Schulenberg, which is very odd. There was a rumor that Prince's nephew, Sean Powell, was there that night. He signed a login for night security, so it might be a possibility that it was only Prince and Sean Powell there that night. We have no proof because the police never looked into the fact that Sean Powell might have been the one that actually found Prince in the elevator, according to Prince's second wife, Manuela Testolini, and Omar Baker, Prince's brother. So that morning, Kirk Johnson, Marone, and Andrew Cornfield, who we will talk about later, actually finds Prince April 21st, 2016, dead in the elevator. Now, we have so many questions. This is the timeline that I have made so far of everything that I know, but I will be breaking this whole investigation piece by piece. Now, the chef, according to him, he said that Prince seemed sick, he seemed ill, his diet had changed, and it seemed like he might have had a sore throat, maybe he had the flu, or maybe it was flu-like symptoms. The medical examiner found counterfeit hydrocodone or Vicodin pills inside of Prince's blood, stomach, and all over his body. They say it was an accidental overdose. But here's another theory that a lot of people have been talking about, and that is that Prince simply faked his death. Now, here's a video that I really want you guys to see. It was made in 1993, I want to say, and it's called Undertaker. And here is a character that actually swallows pills at Paisley Park that's maybe 20 feet away from where he actually died, which is very odd. And if you can watch The Undertaker, it's on YouTube. Take your time and watch it, and it will blow your mind. It's almost as if he knew how he was going to die by watching this video. So what does that mean? Does it mean that he directed something that he felt that he was going to do in the future? Is it all an orchestrated hoax? At this point, we just don't know. But there's a lot of questions that I personally have. And number one is, if he died, who gave him the opioids that killed him? Number two, was Prince placed in the elevator? Number three, why haven't they got any justice for Prince? At this point, I will not stop until I find out exactly what happened. And there's a team of people in the Prince investigation that we are not stopping. We're going to continue to keep on looking for clues. It's been 7 years and nothing has really come to the light to find out who needs to be jailed for this situation. Now, I got a lot of other videos coming up, and I'm going to break down a whole lot more than this. This is only a synopsis, so it's going to be like a little bland because this is the timeline of his death, and and how his life started. So a lot of people would get caught up on what was going on with Prince before his death. So I might have made a little couple mistakes. I hope you guys look over it. This is my first video that I ever used my voice on, so y'all gotta give me a little time to get used to this. But it's been a wild ride, going to Minneapolis, going to Chanhassen, going to Bloomington, looking at everything that Prince had went to when he was young. So that was cool. I feel like this: you cannot understand the ending unless you know the beginning.